Support for Radio Friends comes from IT Como, offering computer and IT services for small businesses and residential clients. IT Como can set up remote work-at-home solutions and data security and backup systems and upgrade your company email to more modern platforms. IT Como can also help you get the most from your technology at home. Learn more at itcomo.com. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on this Friday, June the 16th, and it has been tradition for years and years and years, many more years than I can remember.
I've already forgotten, Paul.
We try to have Larry Brown, our singer, songwriter, storyteller, on to coincide with all the holidays.
Many of them. Yes.
Father's Day is coming up this weekend.
Yes.
So we got Larry Brown over here. Now, was it going to be a song today, or was it going to be a story for Father's Day?
Well, it's a story-ish. It's some commentary today.
Okay. So do I partake in this commentary, or I just sit and listen to you?
Well, toward the end, if we have time, we'll do some conversation.
Okay, so here's Larry Brown with a bit of a commentary, which I'll keep my mouth shut on, about Father's Day.
Well, with Father's Day coming, of course, I started reflecting back on my own experience of being a father and a grandfather now, and a song came to my mind. Harry Chapin in 1974 came out with the song Cats in the Cradle. And it was hit the top of the charts at that time, and there was some Grammy nominations, so on. Well, in that story, if you remember that song, he talked about a father who wasn't there for when his child began to walk. And he wasn't there when his child wanted to play baseball because he had bills to pay and planes to catch and so on. And the chorus always comes back when the son says, "I'm going to be like you, Dad. I'm going to be like you." Well, then they get up to his high school years, and the dad does want to take time with his son, but now the son's busy because he's got places to go and so on. And then it goes through the rest of the man's life. And again, now he wants to be back with his son, but his son is too busy with his own kids. The kids have the flu, and we've got the doctor's appointments, et cetera. And in the end, the author of the song, Harry Chapin, says, "Yep, he grew up to be just like me, not time for others." Well, particularly father-son relationship. And when Harry put out that song, he made a comment later. He said, it was based on a poem that his wife had written, but he turned it into a song. He said, that song scares me to death because it talks about the absence of father. Well, that got me thinking about all the images of father that we have in our culture in our time. Some of them are ancient, classic images of father. Father Time, the old man with the beard holding an hourglass in one hand and a scythe in the other, which was probably based on the Greek god Kronos, the time god, chronology, Kronos, who was a harvest god. And like in this case, Father Time is cutting off and stopping. Or we have images of the father of, the father of a country, the father of some science, the father of an invention. And we have, again, deities that are often referred to as father. We have concepts like fatherland, or motherland, but fatherland. And I looked at those images, and most of them have to do with power, authority, and discipline. Well, if you look at the folks who study fatherhood, you'll find folks are looking at family relationships. But biologically, fathers have very little to do in most species, even in the primates, with child rearing. Of course, they're there to make the child, but then they're gone. So there is a distance there. It's very rare in animal species and in primates where the father does much child rearing and nurturing. And in some cases, the mother is defending the children from the father. But within humans, we have an alternative sense about that, kind of the minority saying, wait a minute, fathers do have an important role. And some cultures it is. Some cultures are actually kind of reversed. The mother is the disciplinarian and the father is the intimacy person. Well, I sort of said, wait a minute, we have got a chance today to sort of look again at fatherhood with the pressures today on family life and relationships. I think we're experiencing today a call for renewal of fatherhood. Not distance, discipline, power, and authority, but the things that make for nurture, the compassion, the intimacy, the communication, the being a mentor, the teaching of life skills, the binding up of wounds, and so on, that there is a nurturing side of fatherhood that is so important and so needed. But here's the crucial thing. It has to be a decision, because it doesn't exactly come naturally. At least that's what science tells us. That we have to make that decision to be a nurturing, caring, intimate, involved father. No, there are plenty of good examples of that and good stories about that as well. I don't want to dwell on the negative, but really make this Father's Day a kind of a call for taking seriously, choosing to be the father who is the intimate, caring, present, nurturing, modeling influence that children do. Whether you are, technically, literally, biologically, or by marriage a father, you may be a father image or model for others. You may be an uncle, you may be a friend, you may be a neighbor, but there may be a role for any of us males as a father who demonstrates the compassionate side of things.
Yeah, and also can show strength when strength is needed, knowledge when knowledge is needed, values.
All of those things, yes. Yes, I was thinking of that in terms of being the mentor and the teacher. That those are the things. We teach values, we teach life skills, and imparting. I grew up in a household where probably it was my grandfather that was the family storyteller. And I thought, well, that's kind of my job now, too, is to preserve the family heritage. There's a role, too.
My father was a good storyteller.
Yes.
He would tell stories about growing up. And some of these stories, I think, were made up, but they always seemed very realistic to me. And the thing that sticks out the most about my father is that he taught me life values.
Oh, yeah.
He taught me how important it is to be honest and to be fair with people.
And you and I have shared those stories of our own fathers being very similar in that regard.
I remember him telling me, do good for people and forget it. Do something nice for somebody and just forget it. Don't do it to try to get something back. But if you ever do anything bad, you better watch behind your back, because it's going to come back and get you.
I would say collaboration, affection, wisdom, guidance. Those are the kind of fatherhood we need today.
Yeah. Larry, thank you so much for coming by today and just doing your little editorial on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Grandfather's Day to you, too. And for all of our dads out there, happy Father's Day to you. And for the ones that aren't with us, in spirit they are, and we love you. Bye-bye.